welcome to Oneida Live here in Oneida, Wisconsin. Today is Thursday, July 31st, and I'm Crystal Holtz, Senior PR Specialist for the Communications Department. Bobby's on vacation this week, but I am excited to be co-hosting with Riley Aguirre, who is our summer intern. Riley, feel free to introduce today's guest.
Hello everybody, I'm Riley and today we have Larry Barton, who is our tribal treasurer. Larry, if you'd like to go over what's happening in your area, that'd be great.
Thank you, Crystal, and thank you, Riley, for the introduction. I'll just highlight that Riley is a student that's going to be attending Syracuse University this fall, so I wish her good luck and all our students good luck with the fall season, fall semester starting, and our athletes and academic people great success as they pursue their future. So with that, a financial update on two levels. One, of course, is on the level of our federal budgeting process and recent legislation. And then I'll update our budget process here within our own Oneida Treasury. So I appreciate everybody viewing, and always feel free to contact me. And my office is open not only to calls, appointments, and dialogue. I always encourage that open communication with the community to hear your voice and any concerns. My comments are preliminary in that although what we call Triple B, the big beautiful budget that was sponsored by the White House and adopted by Congress is going to be subjected to an appropriations bill. So these are preliminary comments. The final version of the appropriations bill will be voted on subsequent now to the July 4th signing of the budget bill. Congress is formulating the appropriations currently, and that is the actual funding mechanisms that are tied to the legislation that was passed again and signed by the president on July 4th. Generally, funding for tribes has been preserved and in some isolated cases enhanced. So that is positive news, but I'll qualify that with some of my remarks. Justice and tribal law enforcement has witnessed a proposed 39% increase, and that's in accordance with our communication from NAFOA recently. We participated in a podcast this week with NAFOA, Native American Finance Officers Association. So on that level, that's good news. The Indian Health Service funding has been preserved, and advanced funding, the prior funding to spending in 2027 has been also proposed. So that's good news. With the cuts that were implemented with the DOGE approach early in the administration's tenure, certainly there was pause and concern that severe cuts would be executed in Indian country. That to date hasn't happened with some exception, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Importantly, contract support costs appear to be proposed in the, if you will, appropriation. That is in dialogue with National Indian Health Board. Jennifer Webster, of course, councilwoman is involved with that constituency and will report out as we go into the 2026 budget. The landmark case, the Becerra v. San Carlos Apache case, was settled at the Supreme Court level in favor of the tribes who solicited additional financial resources to carry the administrative costs inside healthcare delivery. So we are ideally hopeful that we'll see appropriation in response to that case. It's a little preliminary to determine the level of funding in response to the case's determination. The Bureau of Indian Education, essentially through the Bureau of Indian Affairs, it would appear that the allocations have been preserved, subject to further adjustment. So again, that's preliminary. BIA self-governance appears to be maintained. Again, good news. Some modest enhancements, and the final version will go to markup and eventually come out of committee and then a vote by Congress and on to the president's desk for signature. On the other hand, due to rescission, clawing back to prior year budget action, renewable energy development appears to be under the specter of being clawed back or cut. The emphasis in the Department of Energy is energy development, of course, if you followed that issue. So in the balance, some good news for those that advocate sustainability and alternative energy, renewables specifically. That's not good news, but there in the balance is some favorable conclusion and assumption in that way with the proposed appropriations bill. The final versions will be reconciled and action taking in the coming weeks. So keep an eye out, and we will hopefully have good news to report out thereafter. Tribes, importantly, are in the appropriation and in the budget bill exempt for work requirements for two elements. One is SNAP. The acronym SNAP is Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program. And also we tribes are exempted from Medicaid benefit qualifiers. So that's great news and some flexibility and a carve out to protect our citizens who rely on those programs for support in terms of nutrition and food sustainability, but also healthcare access. Importantly, the tax impacts in the budget bill are going to affect our employment base. The chief financial officer will assess those changes and implement those if there are required changes to withholding and treatment of income and or tips. Congress and the White House have acknowledged our treaty-based legal and financial obligation evidenced by preserving funding levels referenced. However, the National Tribal Budget Formation Work Group identified, despite receiving levels of funding that we received under the prior administration, we're still short from our true identifiable need in the aggregate throughout Indian country of approximately $63 billion. To give some idea the impact that would be affected here in Oneida if we, on a pro rata basis, divided that amongst the 567 tribes, that would be in the neighborhood of $100 million of additional federal funding, which is desperately needed, and certainly the trust and treaty obligation of the federal government. I know that all the advocacy organizations work diligently toward that need, but at least we are in receipt of the prior year's funding levels, if not some modest enhancements. Again, despite the fact that early in the administration, the DOGE effort was I think, unsettling, not to be too judgmental. Shifting now to the update on our tribal budget for our fiscal condition, we have instructed by resolution and calendar revisions of directed cuts to all the areas, and that response will be due and back on August 26th. Our structural deficit, as many of you know, is recurrent of approximately $40 to $50 million each year. So importantly, we have to reconcile all of those cuts to match the resource level that our Treasury is fortunate to have to serve the needs of the community. We will, after we reconcile our uses and our sources and have a balanced budget, we will adopt by resolution that proposed budget, prepare the documents for General Tribal Council, and ideally bring the document forward for action, our budget forward, in early November, mid-November, or possibly early December. We'll try to likely stay away from the Thanksgiving holiday and certainly the holidays late in December. So stay tuned. We'll communicate the specific date and welcome any input on our budget. Mandates are included in the proposed budget at this juncture, and our programs will likely be funded at the prior year 2020 25 levels by virtue of necessity. Our payroll levels by resolution of the business committee will revert back to the 2025 levels. And that's a very difficult challenge, as we know that many of the areas are in acute need of additional human resource allocations. So we appreciate that and acknowledge the patient within the community and especially the organization in that difficult challenge. And the reductions are always difficult, and we certainly respect and want to afford grace and patience with the areas that have to reduce their budgets without judgment. A recent project update, some successes or acknowledgement. Despite our financial challenges leadership has faced, we've moved the community forward with 4 meaningful projects to add value to our community. The recent transit facility grand opening was just an excellent celebration. If you haven't toured the facility or stopped over there, I'd encourage it. It's just a beautiful, beautiful venue. Our one stop at E&EE also had the grand opening. Congratulations, retail, as well, because it's just a wonderful facility and welcoming, and a lot of good snacks in there as well. Our food center groundbreaking is August 15th, which will encumber the cannery and other facets of food production. And I encourage folks to come out for that occasion as well to celebrate that long prioritized project, capital improvement project. And then importantly, our recreation center has been approved to move forward. That project will replace the Civic Center in its current form, mostly targeted to our youth. And the resolution is 7-23-25-0, and that encumbers the financial resources to move that project forward. And now the process of design, engineering, site analysis, and eventual bidding of the project will go forward. So that's great news. Congratulations, recreation program. I particularly appreciated your patience as we work diligently and cooperatively to get that project moving along. A couple other quick acknowledgements. I want to thank Brandon Yellowbird Stevens for his many years of service to the community as vice chairman. For those of you who may or may not be aware, he's assuming a role in legislative affairs, and we will need to contemplate the vacancy in the vice chair's office. So again, congratulations, Brandon. We do, the business committee, have a emergency meeting Tuesday to look at all the legal framework and requirements to solicit the General Tribal Council for direction. Also want to acknowledge the History Conference recently. It was a wonderful event for those of you who had occasion to attend. Thank you, both organizers and the presenters especially. I thought it was really a heartfelt expression of our history and certainly our culture. And I just thoroughly enjoyed kind of a walk back in time of how we arrived here, of course, in Northeast Wisconsin. I hope they're going to record and offer those presentations. If those are made available, I would encourage those that could not attend to view those presentations. I thought it was just phenomenal, would be an understatement. And then my contact information, 869-4394, of course, a 920 area code. Always feel free to call. I enjoy the interactions with the members in the community, concerns, positive feedback, critique, all of that is what we're here for as a business committee, and certainly my role as treasurer. My email address, lbarton2, the number 2, @oneidanation.org. Here to serve you. Really enjoyed my time up here on the business committee, and want to acknowledge all our citizens viewing from beyond, and thoroughly enjoy offering an update. If anyone would want the NAFOA PowerPoint, which was offered, certainly contact me and I can share the slides, which included Spirit Rock Consulting, Oreen Martin's narrative, the National Indian Health Board's narrative, tax policy changes from Holland and Knight, gentleman attorney Ken Parsons, and then an update from the Alliance of Tribal Clean Energy. That information's of public purview, and would enjoy going over that with you to see what the future holds. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of summer. Good luck, students.
Thank you so much, Larry. I just have a couple of updates and announcements to go through. The first one is Oneida Energy Social on August 12, 2025 at 5 p.m. at the VFW, which is located at 2980 East Service Road. And then today, Thursday, July 31st, 2025, is the deadline for tribal members to sign up for the fuel tax exemption discount. You will not receive your discount until you have signed up for the new program. Attached are the QR codes for iOS and Android, along with the website. Oneida community members join the ELA division for a wild bergamot and sweetgrass harvest tomorrow, August 1st at 3 p.m. Use your phone to find location number 1. After an hour, we will proceed to location number 2. Dress appropriately and bring scissors for the harvest. The next walk with the dock will be held Wednesday, August 6th, starting at 12:10 p.m. We will meet by the front entrance of the Oneida Community Health Center and then walk on the trails in the Elder Village. The lead walker will be Jerica Christian, who will talk about health facts. Join us for an exciting 2-in-1 event on Tuesday, August 5th at the Oneida Nation Turtle School. Back to School will be located in the large gym from 4 to 6 p.m. and National Night Out will be located on the grounds from 4 until 7 p.m. We have another Back to School event going on August 15th, 2025 from 5 to 8 p.m. at Ted Frisk Park, located at 700 LeCount Road, Green Bay. There will be a foam party with Noble Balloon Magic, games, music, and giveaway prizes. There will be grilled picnic food, steamed corn, picnic sides, treats, bottled water, and drinks. So come join us for this fun event on August 15th. And finally, today is the farmers market from noon until 6 every Thursday, so make sure you go check out all of the vendors. Thank you, Larry, for joining us today. It was a pleasure. Don't forget to watch next week on Tuesday, as we will have Todd Hill from the Food Pantry as our guest. Have a great and safe weekend. Nagiwa.
Nugiwa.
Thank you.